Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back with another Fate Grand Order video. And today we're going to be talking about the upcoming event, which is the Waxing Moon Clashing Swords Chronicles, which is the Fate Samurai Remnant event. That's going to be today's video. I hope you like it. If you do, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It does help out the channel a whole bunch, and I would appreciate it. So, without further ado, let's begin talking about it. So, we're currently looking at the JP side of the event. When does it start for us, though? Well, thankfully they did have a pre-release campaign, and inside of the news information they told us when it begins, it'll be the 7th. PST time is when it starts. The reason they put this down here because the game is going to go into maintenance on the 6th when day roll happens, and then 4 hours later it will leave it, so the event will start on the 7th, even though for some it's going to start on the 6th. This is always the hardest part to talk about, this the time zone thing, because everyone is very different. For me, it always starts on the 7th, but for some people it will definitely still be the 6th. The best way you can kind of keep track of this is that if you actually go to the when they do their live stream, you add 2 hours, maintenance will start, and then 4 hours from then the event itself will start. So try and figure it out in your own time zones, and if you need a little bit more help, I guess you can try asking me, but I'll likely just tell you this exact same thing again, but I'll gladly tell it to you again. How long do I expect it to be? It's probably going to be about 3 weeks long, because that's how long it was on the JP side. To participate in it, all you need to do is clear Fuyugi, which should not be too hard. And then Iori will be the not limited, it will be the free-to-play unit for this event. I'm going to go over him a little bit later when I'm also talking about the banner units, but if you want a quick and dirty kind of explanation of what he is a single target saber who has a lot of nice solo focus buffs. He's really nice in terms of if you wanted to 1v1 someone. I think that's probably what Iori would prefer, but yeah, that is the main reward here for the event itself. In terms of the mechanics, it's going to be a mission style based event. It will still have the same thing, like collecting these, like the gold drops for this one are going to be Musashi's Uden. For silver, it's Edo rice balls, and for bronze, it's going to be the Azuma dried permission drops. And then there will also be like stuff like spirit fonts that will show up. Spirit fonts will appear that progress the main quest. Certain quests will also conquer the spirit fonts, and after it's been conquered, new quests may unlock. And then rogue servants, just like the game Fate Samurai Remnant, rogue servants can be unlocked for main quest by beating digression quest. You unlock those as you progress through the main quest. Clearing them might be required for some main quest to unlock, which I'll also talk about that a little bit later. You also get rewards for, this is the missions, they're called town trials here, but they're all basically just missions. And then, yeah, when you clear the main story quest, then you'll get your Iori. So make sure to actually complete the story, or else you won't be able to get your samurai dude here, which would be very unfortunate if you already somehow got him NP5 and it just did not get the story done. But I think that's actually impossible. Anyway. In terms of damage bonus, the units that will have 100% damage and 50% bond throughout the entire event are Yamato Takeru, Miyamoto Iori, Yui Shosetsu, and Ushi Gozen. And then the units that will have 50% damage and 20% bond are Satanta, Esvataman, Lancer Liu Shiwen, Odysseus, Mochizuki Shiome, Spartacus, Tamamo Cat. And the ones that will have 30% damage and 20% boost, those are Miyamoto Musashi, Yagyu Munenori, Gilgamesh, Archer Arjuna, Tomoe Gozen, Kukulin, Cersei, Sasaki Kojiro, Old Man Lee, which is Assassin Lee, Lee Shuen, Summer Musashi, and Jean and Jolter. And then for the event cards, we can see here, this is the event CE, which is Dango over Moon, which is increase to quick performance by 8%, increases arts performance by 8%, increases NP generation rate by 5%, and then start the battle with 30% NP gauge. And then you get 100% damage up, or 200% when max limit broken. And then when it's max limit broken, this also turns to a 50% NP gauger. So if you are a brand new player, these are always really nice to collect and get. And then for event command codes, we have the flower at the apex of the heaven that transcends void. The flower at the apex of heaven that transcends void. Okay, I had to say it again just to make sure I wasn't like tripping over my own tongue. I've been having a bit of a problem with that recording this video. But this is the 5-star event command code. It ignores invincibility for the engraved card. It then increases critical damage by 10% for the engraved card. The 4-star is the Crimson Codex. It inflicts burn of 500 for 3 turns when attacking using the engraved card. Then it increases MP generation rate by 5% of the engraved card. And then we have Companion during a predicament. It removes 1 latest offensive buff when attacking using the engraved card, and recovers zone HP by 100 when attacking using the engraved card, which this is the 3-star as well. For login, we should get a total of 21 apples. 18 of them will be silver, and 3 of them will be golden. And then Summer Musashi is going to be getting her strengthening. So the Ganryu Jima will go from EX to EX, tiny parentheses. Deals damage to all enemies. It deals extra damage to Saber class servants enemies. New effect. It reduces all enemies' critical attack chance for 3 turns and then seals the NP of Saber enemies for 1 turn. So she becomes really good at fighting Saber servants. And then for the event shop, as we can see here, if you want to get everything with the Musashi Uden, you're going to need 4,300 of them. The things you get inside the shop are going to be 2 event CEs, 1 lore, 16 stacks of 10 Iori medals, meaning you buy 1 of these, you get 10 medals, 25 stacks of 10 evocation leaves, so when you buy this once, you'll get 10 of them. 1 golden foe for attack and HP, 10 heart of the foreign gods, 10 demonic flame Hozuki, I should say. 20 war horses immature horns, 20 sun scales, 20 golden statues for caster, assassin, and berserker, 1 code remover. And then if you have any extra, you can exchange them for QP. It starts at, for every 2, you get 10,000 QP. And then we have the Edo rice balls, or the Edo rice balls, I should say, which to get everything in this shop, you'll need 3,900 of them. And then, just like the previous shop, you'll get 1 event CE, 1 lore, 16 stacks of 10 Iori medals, 25 stacks of 10 evocation leaves, 1 attack golden foe. So yeah, the only real difference between this and that one is that you only get 1 of the event CE, and the same is true for the next one. With instead of being an attack golden foe, it's an HP golden foe. And then the materials are 20 Talons of Chaos, 20 Magatamas, 20 Forbidden Pages, 20 Twilight Blades, 20 excuse me, 20 silver statues for caster, assassin, and berserker, 1 code remover. And then when you're done, you can start trading them in for gold materials, and the exchange rate is for every 10 you get 1 gold material. And then finally for the bronze material, which is the Azuma dried persimmons, I should say, not the permissions. Very different. 4,800 of them to get everything in this shop, and just like the last one, like I said, 1 event CE, 1 lore, 16 stacks of 10 Iori medals, 25 stacks of 10 evocation leaves, 1 HP golden foe, 20 silver, a foe for HP and attack, 55 EXP, 104 EXP, 103 XP, 20 horseshoes, 20 ancient bells of tranquility, 20 Yggdrasil seeds, 30 bones, a code remover, and then finally you can do the same exchange rate of exchanging 10 to 1 once you have everything into the silver material. In terms of the missions that we have to go through them, it's all pretty basic stuff. It's not like back in the day where I think it was probably a little bit more complicated. This is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is fight a bunch of enemies. The one thing that I would say to look out for, and also doing these will also unlock specific quests and stuff like that, like clear the digression quest, you'll unlock that or whatever. The thing you should probably take most note of, I would say, is the one that says make sure that Iori is in your party and clear 20 quests. It should start tracking from the second you get them, even if the quest itself does not show up. So just make sure to always have them in there. And you should be fine from there. And then after you clear all the missions, you'll get a lore and everything, along with a buttload of other stuff, including summon tickets and dongos. For summon tickets, there is only the one that you see here, as far as I'm aware of here, which is just clear 50 missions. So go through the events and you'll be able to see it. In terms of the St. Quartz, that's where you can find over in the main quests. I'm not going to show everything here, just because obviously some people will probably not like to would prefer not to be spoiled and see what the final boss and stuff like that is. But I can tell you the basic stuff here, which is that there are 16 acts, including a prologue and a final act. Prologue, I should say. You get a total of 16 St. Quartz from these and a Holy Grail at the end, and then there's actually one more St. Quartz that you can get, which I'll be showing soon enough, but that puts the total up to 17 St. Quartz and a single ticket. So good to take note of there. And then you can see here on the free quest side, this is where things get a little bit more complicated, but I swear it's not that complicated. So all of these free quests, except for the last 3, are just cleared by doing simple things like clearing an act. For the last 3, for this one, the Kanda, you're gonna have to clear the Spirit Font Conflict Kanda. And the way that you do that is that you have to go over here now. This is the part where I said it's going to get a little bit funky to look at, but I swear it's not that bad. So after you clear Act 12, this specific spirit font will show up that will be based off of Kanda, which is you clear Act 12, and then you'll beat this Kanda, and then that will unlock this specific free quest. And then for the last 2, you have to actually clear the digression quest, Traces of the Master Swordsman Ode in Reply. This is for both of them. This is the final digression quest, and I guess based off of the name, you can kind of figure out how to get that one and who you're going to be fighting in that one. The thing to note of here, even though I said I don't like spoiling it, I kind of have to say this because it is a solo fight against Musashi. You can only bring Iori. So do not ignore your Iori from this, and this is where you'll get a Saint Quartz and then permanently get Iori as well. So after you clear the final act, you will then have to do this digression quest, and then after you beat in this digression quest, he'll become permanent and you'll get a Saint Quartz, and then you'll go from there, and it will finally unlock these last 2 fights, which are Kanagawa Port and Edo Castle. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my voice today. Now, as far as grinding these specific nodes, Kanagawa Port is pretty straightforward because it's all berserkers, but the one thing you have to keep note of is that there is a ruler fight in this one, so make sure to actually bring someone that can take down the ruler, or else you're going to be in for a very bad time. That's either another berserker or an avenger of some kind, but the HP values aren't too crazy. You'll also notice that these have 6 people. These are going to have up to 6 enemies on the battlefield simultaneously. So that makes it extremely easy for arts units in this case, because I really want you to use Yamato for this one, because they are an AoE saber. So they would excel at this fantastically. But the first node will be 6 of these sea demons, and then the next one is a solo focused fight, and then the last one is going to be against Jean and a sea demon. And then your completion war for this one is just a simple 100 mana prisms. Edo Castle is the one that is going to be the one a lot of people are going to be farming, because these have the best drops, but also it's going to be very hard for a lot of new players to actually be able to do these on a 3-turn basis. So don't feel too discouraged. As always, you should try and do the grind node that actually is viable for you, and not the grind node that is the best just simply because it's the best. If you're able to do one of the other ones way easier than this one, you should probably do that one. But like I said, they really want you to benefit from having Yamato on here, because this is all Lancer fights with a single target focus at the beginning, and then 6 of them, and then one big one with 1,000,000 HP at the end. I will say though, in looking at this also doesn't look that bad for me. I feel like you probably would be able to do it pretty easily if you just used Iori for the first one and the last one, and then just found a decent enough saber to take care of the second wave. That's what I'm currently thinking, at least. When I'm looking at this, I'm like going, oh, I can think of a couple of neat teams to use with this. And probably don't even need to really use the supports for this one. At least that's what I'm looking at. It does help that they also get a big damage bonus from it. So yeah, those are the free quests themselves. If you want more details on like the other drops from and stuff, you can always check the description box where you can look at this yourself, because I'll leave it there, I swear, unless I forget. If I forget, just let me know. Now about these other extra quests that we have here, all of these I think are pretty straightforward. The digression quest will show up after you clear specific acts or missions. Just make sure to do them, or like just clear 2 interception battles, do that, clear 2. It's really not that complicated from what I can see right here. Again, as someone who didn't play this event back in the day, it just seems like a lot because there's like a lot of different things. All it really does is say like, hey, after you do this, go do this, and then go do that. Interceptions are the same way. As you can see here, all you need to do is for a decent amount of these is like clear Act 7, and then the next one is clear digression quest. It's a whole big fetch thing around there, but it shouldn't really be that hard. It should be pretty straightforward. And then now we move on for the challenge quest. you need to have cleared Solomon, the last digression, and then claim the mission number 100, and then this will open up to you. I don't like looking at these challenge quests because in theory I want to go in them blind if I ever attempt them with my brother. It's actually been a very long time since we've done that, and I feel like this is like the 7th time I've said that. So I really probably should do it for this one. I always run out of time at the end, but 3 weeks should hopefully be enough time for this. But yeah, if you want to get this to unlock, then just clear Solomon, the digression, and then claim mission 100. And then we have the banners themselves, which is Summoning Campaign 1, which is the thing that's going to launch with the event, which will feature Ushi Gozen and Yui Shosetsu. The rate up craft essence will be Women of the Nitin Ichi Ryu, which is the 5-star CE. It gives Pierce Invincibility, Arts Cards Performance plus 8%, and Buster Card Performance plus 8%, and then it drops +1 the gold material. And then Met by Chance is the 4-star. It charges NP gauge by 3% per turn, quick card performance up 3%, and then crit damage plus 10%, and this ups the silver drops by 1. And then we have Well Matched, which is arts cards performance plus 3%, critical damage plus 3%, NP damage plus 3%, and then the bronze drops up by 1. And yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. Nothing here that I can think of. I like having Pierce Invincibility CEs because occasionally you'll run into a really annoying story chapter that's like, I always have Invincibility up, so always like to keep Pierce Invincibility CEs on me at all times. These others seem fine. They have some really nice art on them and stuff like that. And if you're a fan of the Fate Samurai Remnant, it's obvious that you probably want to go for them. I will likely get a couple of these because I am going to be summoning for Ushi Gozen. And then the other banner that should be related to this event is the one that features Summer Musashi. She'll also have Yui Shosetsu on it, Shosetsu, and we'll have the CEs on here. And yeah, there you go. Very easy and straightforward event, I'd say. So now it's finally time to start talking about these units, and I'm going to start by actually going back and looking at Iori, because I did say I was going to look at him. I meant to close these off, but give me a sec and we'll cut back to Iori. We're back after a cut. So yeah, Iori, he is the event reward. He is a saber. He has 1 quick, 2 arts, 2 buster, 3 hits on quick, 4 hits on arts, 4 hits on buster, and 6 hits on extra. His active skills are Akin to Ice, B, increases own crit absorption for 3 turns, increases own critical damage for 3 turns, gain critical stars every turn for 3 turns, and then increase own mental debuff resistance for 3 turns, 500% to the absorption, 30% to crit damage, 10 to star regen, and 50% to mental debuff resistance, and this is on a cooldown of 6. His second skill is the Crimson Codex B, charges his own MP gauge, increases his own attack for 3 turns, and then gains critical stars, inflicts burn for 3 turns to all enemies, 30% to the MP, 20% to attack, 20 to stars, 1000 to burn, and the cooldown is 6. The third skill is the Sword of the 5 Rings A, increases his own quick, arts, and buster performance for 3 turns, reduces his own damage taken for 3 turns, and then grants self-evasion for 2 attacks 3 turns. 20% to quick, arts, and buster, and minus 500 to the damage taken, and this is on cooldown of 6. His passive skills are Magic Resistance B and Writing B. His third append skill is an Anti-Saber Attack Damage Aptitude. And his Noble Phantasm is... this unlocks after Act 4, Arrow 4. Is the Hikken Hoyoki Senryo, the Hidden Sword Soaring Flash. Its rank is nothing. It's anti-unit Mystic Sword. It hits 6 times. It's a buster. Increases his own quick performance by 20% for 3 turns. This activates first. Increases his own buster performance by 20% for 3 turns. This activates first. Increases evasion for 1 turn. This activates first. Ignores evasion for 1 turn, I should say. Activates first. Then deals damage to a single enemy at MP level 1. The damage is 600%, but you will likely always have him at MP level 5. That will be 1000. And then his overcharge effect is gaining crit stars. At overcharge 1, it's 10. And if you get him all the way to the final charge level, it's 30. And then for his Bond CE, we have One Night at the Port. When equipped to Iori, increases party's quick performance by 8%, increases party's buster performance by 8%, and then increases party's NP damage by 10% while self is on the field. And that is Iori. How is he? Well, he is a free-to-play, so you should always try and get one of them, no matter what. It kind of doesn't matter how they are, but as far as he goes, a single target saber is a very nice thing to just kind of have in the background. And like I said, free NP5, a lot of his skills are really hyper-focused on himself and trying to survive and do a lot of other stuff over the turns and stuff. I would say he's probably pretty good as a unit that you want to pick up if you want to try and fight someone, but don't expect him to do anything crazy like help everyone else out. He's here for one thing, and he's here for one thing only. He wants to 1v1 and he wants to fight. This is a man currently in a stance ready to fight, and if you're willing to join him in this fight, then that's great. But like I said, welfare, free, seems pretty good to me. I'll gladly take him, and I'll use him for the event and stuff like that. For a lot of newer players, it's always nice to have like in your pocket something that's like a free to play that can get this much strength. That's what I've come to learn over time. Even someone like me who has a lot of units over time, sometimes you just need a unit to hit really hard one time, and that's good enough. Especially with a lot of the some specific grind nodes that are like, I just need someone to hit really hard right now, and I really don't have an NP5 of a single target unit. This is a free one. May as well take advantage of the free unit and enjoy it. So that's my feelings on Iori. If you feel any different, feel free to let me know. But next, we're gonna move on to Yui Shosetsu is a caster. She has 1 quick, 3 arts, 1 buster, 4 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 3 hits on buster, 5 hits on extra. The active skills are Unnatural Creation, Subspecies C. Grants self gut status for 1 time, 5 turns. Grants recovers own HP every turn for 5 turns. Grants self debuff immunity for 1 time, 3 turns. 3000 HP is what she revives us when the guts triggers. And HP regen is 1000 at level 10, and this is on a cooldown of 6. Her second skill is the Liberator Strategy B. Charges the party's NP. Increases the party's NP damage except for self for 3 turns. Gains critical stars every turn for 3 turns. Reduces all enemies' attack for 3 turns. 20% to NP charge, 30% to NP damage, 15 to star regen, and the attack down is 20% on a cooldown of 7. Her third skill is the Magecraft Elemental B+. Increases one ally's arts performance for 3 turns, increases their crit damage for 3 turns, and then charges own NP gauge. 30% to arts, 30% to crit damage, and then 30% to charging your own NP gauge. Their passive skills are Territory Creation C+, and Item Construction C. The third append skill is the Anti-Caster Attack Damage Aptitude. Damn, both of them are like anti themselves. I realized both them and Iori are just like, nah, we're specifically taking down our own class. This is what we're here for. And the Noble Phantasm is the Reshi Junmei, Fushaku Shinmyo, Martyr's Honor, the Atma Parityaga. What I did not say. Parityaga? We're gonna go with that for right now, but I'm almost positive I messed that up. It's arts, it's rank C, it's anti-army. It increases the attack of allies with quick performance up status for 3 turns, except for quick status, unremovable status. Increases the crit damage of all allies with the arts performance up status for 3 turns, again, unless it's in the unremovable status. And then increases the NP damage of allies with the bust performance up status for 3 turns, unremovable status. At MP level 1, it's 20%, 30%, and 20%. I guess 20% to the quick up attack, 30% to the arts up crit damage, and the buster up NP damage is 20%. And if you get them all the way to MP level 5, it's 30% to the quick up attack, 50% to the arts crit damage up, and then 30% to the buster NP damage. And then the overcharge effect is increased to party's HP. At overcharge level 1, it's a 3000 heal. If you get all the way to the final level, it is 7000 heals. And then their Bonsi is the Akuto Daisho. When equipped to them, increases the party's arts performance by 10% and their crit damage by 15% while they're on the field. And that's you. How do I currently feel about you? I actually really like a lot about this unit. I think it's actually kind of nifty of what she has. She's obviously a support, but she's a very interesting and different kind of support. I think you can see this as because I've been going through this a little bit more, trying to do different multi-core farming teams and stuff like that. Sometimes you just need a unit to come in and kind of do a little bit, like give the party's charge by at 20% by NP, give them a little NP damage. That's pretty fine. That's pretty all right. On their NP though, I think they provide a lot of like neat little utility here based off of who you're using them with. So if you are with someone who is just gonna give them, or you're using them in conjecture with one of the big supports. Obviously, if you're using someone with quick, then you're always going to get the quick up attack. If you're with arts, getting crit damage is really nice, because sometimes some arts units don't really have a buttload of crit damage unless they are kind of going and siding with Lady Avalon and stuff like that. And also some of them do have it built into their kit themselves, but always getting a little bit more is kind of nice, especially because she also can provide them a little bit more of crit stars and stuff like that, especially because this will be always generating and things like that. More damage to busters is also really good, but the cool thing is that when someone is able to give it themselves all three of these, though, that means they would be able to get the benefits of everything. And obviously this scales the best probably based off NP. Funny enough, quick and buster kind of remain the same in NP1. Only a 10% increase, but for arts to get 50%, you need the NP5. I still think this is a really cool unit, actually. The more I look at them, I'm like, dude, this is kind of... I would really like to use them. The giving yourself debuff immunity is really nice. Recover your own HP. It seems like they would be very handy in a challenge quest or story type node thing where you know the fight's gonna last a little bit longer. Yeah, I like this unit. I think this is pretty cool. To be honest with you, when I looked at these units, I didn't really care what they did, because I just saw that it was the girl from Fate Samurai Remnant, and I said that's good enough. And then I read the kit and I go like, oh, that's pretty cool. I actually like a lot about that. The thing I cared about most was where they came from. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good unit. I really like what they're doing here. And then we'll move on to the final piece de la resistance, which is Ushi Gozen. She is a limited servant. She is also an Avenger. She has 3 quicks, 1 arts, 1 buster, 6 hits on quick, 4 hits on arts, 4 hits on buster, 5 hits extra. Her first skill is the Dojigiri Yasusuna, a rank A. Increases own damage against the demonic enemies for 3 turns. Increases own damage against servant enemies with the Earth attribute for 3 turns. Increases own crit damage for 3 turns. 50% to demonic damage, 50% to the Earth servant damage, and then 30% to crit damage. And this is on a cooldown of 6. Her second skill is Mana Burst Thunderclap, which is an amazing name, actually. Increases own quick performance for 3 turns. Increases own buster performance for 3 turns. Give me a sec, because I need to go. All right, I'm back after a little bit of a cough. Sorry if I worried you there, but it's okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna continue on. So, just to go over it again, I guess. Increase on quick performance for 3 turns. Increase on buster performance for 3 turns. Grant self a buff on attack buff for 5 attacks, 3 turns. Increases own critical damage when attacking with quick cards for 3 turns. Activates first. 30% to quick, 30% to buster, and then 20% to crit damage on a cooldown of 6. Third skill is the Unholy Transgressor EX. Increases own critical star absorption for 1 turn. Increases own critical damage for 1 turn. Increases own NP damage for 1 turn, and then charges your own NP gauge. 200% to absorption, 50% to crit damage, 30% to NP damage up, and 50% to the MP charge on the cooldown of 6. And then we'll go on here. Her passive skills are Avenger D, Oblivion Correction B, Self-Replenishment Magic A, Madness Enhancement EX, and then Transgressor Manifestation B, which would increase own damage by 100 and then increases the crit damage of quick cards by 20%. Jesus Christ. Her third skill is an anti-berserker attack damage aptitude, because trust no one, not even yourself. And her noble phantasm is the Gu Hanten Jinrya Furetsu. I completely fucked that up near the end. Furetsu. I'm gonna go with that. If you're confident enough, no one will judge you. Ox King's Reversal, the Frenzied Tempest. Rank A, Anti-Fortress. Hits 6 times. It's a quick noble phantasm. It deals damage to all enemies. Reduces their critical attack chance by 30% for 3 turns. A 40% chance to stun them. At MP level 1, the damage is 600%, and if you get her all the way to MP level 5, it's 1000, and then deal extra damage against enemies with the Earth attribute. At charge level 1, it's 150%. And if you get her all the way to the final charge level, it's 200%. And then if we go over here to Urbansi, it is the Ox King's Huge Divine Messenger. When equipped to Ushi Gozen, increases party's damage against enemies with the Earth attribute by 15%, and then increases party's damage against demonic enemies by 15% while self is on the field. And that is Ushi Gozen. How is she? Well, I should start this off by saying I at least have an extreme bias towards anything Raiko. I absolutely love Raiko, and this is no exception. This is literally just a kid Raiko to me. Ushi Gozen, teen Raiko, whoever you want to call her, young adult Raiko, not fully formed big woman Raiko, whatever it is. Really like a lot what she's got going on here. So first, I like that this ability, after I looked at the some stuff, I really like what they have. They have a AoE Noble Phantasm, but they also in their kit still have a decent bit of stuff here that will make them be able to do a lot of damage if they're ever fighting against a single target enemy. At least I think so. Whether that be you're fighting someone where it's like, okay, well, this one has the big HP pool, and then you kind of use them to come in here and kind of do that, or you're doing a specific story fight or challenge fight where like they keep summoning other dudes, and then you use Ushi Gozen to kind of go in there, hit as much as you can. Funny enough, just like that free quest that we were thinking with Jean there at the end, where it was a bunch of berserkers and then her as well, that would be an excellent showcase of that. But also the ability to do specific extra damage to Earth Attribute Servants, you're going to be doing a lot to them in general. And then if you also add in Demonic, you're also doing a lot to them. I like what they got going on there in their kit, that's for sure. The 50% NP charger is also pretty big for Quick. The one thing that I've always had issues with Quick, and a lot of people have issues with Quick, is that sometimes they're just not able to get their NP back. It's very unfortunate that they kind of suffer from this issue. Having a 50% NP charger helps with that pretty big at the beginning turns there, I would say. Hitting 6 times is also a pretty decent amount of hits for a Quick unit. Chance to stun them will likely never come into play when you're fighting them normally, but it does also blend into the when you're fighting them when you are fighting against someone who is like a little bit more HP pool, not just for farming but for other type of content that is out there in the game, which it exists out there. And so yeah, I really like this unit. Again, take some of what I say with a grain of salt, because this is obviously a character I really like. I am going to be summoning for them, I believe I put down 5 to 7 multis in the video. I talked about like how much am I willing to go for them. I think I'm going to use the full 7. I really wish I don't have to use the full 7, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously that is not enough to get them full pity, but that's how much I'm willing to spend here. And the reason is that obviously the GSSR that is going to be coming to the game a little bit later, which I'm going to show right now actually. This one right here, as you can see, is the Borderless Pavilion 2 that features not only Raiko or Ushi Gozen, it also features Aiko and Alice. I'm almost positive I completely fucked up how to say that. Ako? No, wait. It is like Aoko. Okay, I'm better with this one. Point is, this GSSR is absolutely insane because it features the 3 new SSRs on it. So even though I do obviously want copies of her and I also want copies of you for this one, the reason I don't want to go fully committing with it is that, or like spend more than I need to, is that later on they are going to be featured on a GSSR that has them. And if I do get them by summoning them, I'm still going to be summoning on this because I would love more additional copies for them. I think this is a unit that if I had them, I would likely choose them to be one of my grands. As I was making my plans out and someone was telling me about my whole extra is allowed to have 2, but make sure you unlock 1 from extra 1 and 1 from extra 2. I realized the one I would like for extra 1 would be an Avenger, would be Ushi Gozen, and then for the other one it would be Kagula Khan for the Foreigner. So I would really like to get Ushi Gozen. I really like a lot of her kit. It really does really nice for me. And I'm also someone who really likes quick servants, even though they have a lot of negativities towards them. Like, I understand that doing quick stuff is usually not the best way of kind of doing things around here, and a lot of people don't like quick servants for that reason. But I have a lot of fond memories for quick servants. I was never got Merlin, and then my first unit was Scotty, so I have a very like love for a lot of quick servants. But if any of that sounds like a negative towards you, it's a little bit more understanding as to why you'd want to skip, especially with this year being as crazy as it is with a lot of the collabs. Literally look at the other 2 women that are featured on this GSSR. Completely understandable if you choose not to summon. This year is so crazy, I even skipped over a unit that is going to be featured over here somewhere. I know he's in here if I go looking for him. Somewhere in here. He's probably on the man side if I look up here. No, is he not? There he is. Boom, right there. Though I would not summon on this banner. That's enough looking at this future GSSR. It's not that time for that. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for making it to the end of this video. I hope you liked it. I know it's a little bit all over the place, but I'm doing my best here on this one. I really got screwed up at the beginning being unable to say Fate Samurai Remnant. I just kept calling it Fate Samurai Remnant like over and over and over again. But if you made it this far, thank you very much. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to show some support. Tell me how you're feeling about anything. Tell me what you're saving up towards, whatever it may be. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. I wish you all the best of luck. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, goodbye. That's it. Peace out. Bye-bye.